Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
All right, it is now time for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. I am here to change your lives. You're all bummed right now. You're thinking, life is difficult, Bonaduce. Come on, help me out, and I will. You're part of this bargain. Give me a call, 1-800-252-1025. Or, by the way, we also take emails. Matter of fact, I enjoy emails. Lifecoach@KZOK.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let's talk to Kim in Tacoma. Good morning, Kim. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. First of all, it's so nice to talk to you. I've watched you since I've been a little kid, and I just love you.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Kim. I appreciate that.
Okay, I guess I'll just delve right in. So I've been married to my husband for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
He lives
By the way, congratulations. People know that's a tough game right there, 20 years. So good for you for making that work for 20 years.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
He's actually a very great guy. I love him dearly, and he has many good qualities, but he just stays downstairs all the time. He works a lot of hours, and then he comes home and goes downstairs, and my daughter and I live upstairs, and on the weekends he just stays downstairs and watches TV, and I'm lonely, and I'm lonely for his company, too. And
well,
I can go downstairs and watch TV with him, but it just doesn't feel like a normal lifestyle.
Well, I got to tell you this, Kim, that there is no real definition of a normal marriage. You know, whatever it is that you make work is a normal marriage. Because, like we said, we just said this to you, and I didn't know really that you were going to say that 20 years, that's pretty great, to be honest. So whatever you're thinking, hey, this is normal, probably isn't. It's what's normal for you. But do you tell your husband that you're lonely?
I do, and he's, unless he's in a bad mood, he's real sympathetic, and he'll say, come down here, let's watch Big Bang Theory together or something, but, I wish, sometimes I just wish, it's like pulling teeth. I wish that he would want to do some, make initiative or, play a game with me.
A game, is that something you would like? Because I have actually said this to my friends right here in this radio station, that I'm thinking very seriously about pulling out a card night, one night of the week that we all get together, play cards, or something for me and the wife, board games. And I knew she grew up playing board games. So that's kind of cool. Have you ever recommended a board game to your husband?
I have. He's very, very smart, and he beats me, and I'm not the best loser. But, I work on that. We both played one game together. That was it.
Oh, do you mind if I ask what the game was?
Monopoly.
Oh, I hate that game. Plus, I steal. I always steal from the bank. As if I'm the banker, you're going to lose. And if I'm not the banker, don't go to the bathroom, because I will steal from you. That's all there is to it. Well, here's the thing. And I would imagine first of all, your husband shouldn't be doing this. And I think what you should do, Kim, is let him know it's important, because you do sound a little passive to me. And I don't think, to shake things up too much, you got a successful marriage going here. So I would be careful what you fix, because this might not really be broken. Having said that, I think you need to tell him that whatever it is, he can pick what you're doing. If it's not a board game, if it's something else, if it's just going out. Here, believe this or not, I was just telling Sarah about this off the air. My wife and I are renting a cabin at a camp on Mount Rainier, and she said, that doesn't sound like you're like, I know, I'm getting out of my wheelhouse a little bit.
You.
Yeah, thank you very much. So you got to do a couple of things, in my opinion, that aren't normal behavior for either one of you. But having said that, because I think you'll do it. I think you've got a very good husband there, Kim. But having said that, like, I'm going to repeat myself, and then I'm moving on. Be very careful, Kim. Don't fix things that aren't broken. This is a 20-year marriage, and your big problem is he's in the basement. Pull him out of the basement a couple of times. He'll come. If you say, honey, this is really bothering me, it's hurting my feelings, I promise, the marriage I'm hearing about on my headphones, he will come out of that basement. So, and give a little thanks to what's going on there, Kim. And thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
Maybe they should rent a cabin on Mount Rainier.
That's why I brought that up. Get out of the house and bring board games with you. But they have flat screens. We're not going anywhere.
But that's actually a great idea, bringing some board games.
Amy and I went to a place one time that didn't have TVs, and we thought it'd be good for the whole marriage. Hang out and don't watch. What a horrifying mistake. It was terrible.
But sometimes, like you were saying, Danny, even if Kim and her husband just went someplace, it's not about cost. It can be very inexpensive just to mix things up. Get them out of the basement.
Yeah, you should get them out of the basement, but don't pull too hard. I think you guys are pretty happy there. You miss him. That's a great sign. Pull him up out of that basement.
If you've got a question for the life coach, 800-252-1025, you should be calling that number now, because he can really help you with any kind of problem you have. That's why he's called Danny Bonaduce Life Coach.
That is. If it was easy, everybody'd do it.
Douglas in Seattle has sent an email. My sister has been suffering from severe insomnia for several months, which has affected her mental state. She and her husband voluntarily placed her in a mental ward of a hospital because she was making statements that she didn't want to go on. Now her
She was making statements that she didn't want to go on?
I don't want to go on. I don't want to live.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So now her insurance provider has determined she's made progress. They don't want to pay for her hospitalization anymore. However, her insomnia isn't any better, neither is her depression. She wants to be transferred to a different facility, but her insurance says she's fine and can be on her own. Any suggestions? Because she's more despondent than ever.
Yeah, I don't know if you have kids or not, but here's the thing. Your insurance company is playing a very dangerous game. And be careful here, because here's what they're doing. They're claiming, I don't believe you. So that's the game. You have to make them believe that she's, a danger to herself. I'm sorry that that's the game, but it is. It is. If they thought for a second they're going to be the insurance company that pulled a girl out of a place that she belonged, and God forbid something bad happened to her, they don't want to be that insurance company. You see it on the news all the time about a person, and the insurance company pulled them out, and their insurance company was canceled, and then they did something drastic. Let them know. Here's the thing on this. I'll repeat myself. You have to make the insurance company believe them, that it's in their best interest as much as your sister's. You guys, you don't know what you're doing. I believe she's in a very dangerous and vulnerable state right now, and I wouldn't pull her out. I don't know what can happen. That's the best you can do. I'm afraid of what could happen. And I'm afraid are very good words. I'm afraid of what she might do. And believe me, I think she'll pull out. They'll pay for they'll pay for her to continue her stay in a psych ward. And that's good on you, by the way, getting her into the psych ward. Because some people, they just don't want to go. They don't want to go, and that's exactly what they need. And so if the family's getting her there, and now they're saying pull her out, just make them know that you feel that she is still a danger. And I think they'll pull that and get her back in a facility.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach, is what you're hearing. He is solving your problems one phone call and one email at a time. 800-252-1025. Jacob and Elma, you're on with Danny Bonaduce.
Hey, Jacob, what can I do for you?
Hey, what's going on? So I got a question for you. I've been married for 5 years, lived out here in Washington the entire time. I absolutely hate Washington. I'm from a little small town in Wyoming, and I cannot get my wife to leave Washington, and I can't stand it here. I hate the rain. I'm not a fan of Washington as a whole. She refuses to move because her family's here, but my family's down in Wyoming.
Well, you are gonna have to work that out. Thank God for the way my wife did it. My wife, we were sitting there. I'd known my wife. She wasn't not even nearly my wife yet. I'd known my wife 6-8 weeks when my boss said, "Hey, you're gonna go to Philadelphia. Try leaving Southern California for Philly." Culture shock, and she acted really weird about it. But she went and things were great. But then they said, "Hey, you're gonna leave Philadelphia for Seattle," and this is more about me because I was sober. I knew it was something. And I said, don't worry, sweetheart. Sobriety travels. So she couldn't be more happy here because I quit drinking in Philly and I kept it with me all the way through for years that we've been here. So here's the thing I think you're going to have to do is let your wife know that happiness is where you find it. She's having a great time here. I'm having a good time here. You're not. By the way, Jacob, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have a job or anything in Wyoming when you get back?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a good job waiting for you when you get back?
Very good jobs that, I've got a lot of friends at small communities out there, very good jobs out there, and I'm actually making about half of what I can make out there. My thing is care for her, and she'll never have to work again type thing. Okay, and let me ask you this. Are there things your wife says, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's join this Book of the Month Club or whatever it is? Are there things that your wife wants you to do? No, not really. I mean, we do. Yeah, I mean, there is stuff that she wants me to do that we do. All right, well, make sure that she knows that you're going to pay a lot. You're going to make a lot more money at this job in Wyoming. That you let her know for sure. Here's what you have to do, Jacob. You have to let her know that joy is in Wyoming. That the joy for you, and believe me, in these kind of circumstances, joy is where the other person is happy. Now, your wife wants to stay here with your family, and you want to go to Wyoming. Did your wife move here from Wyoming? No, well, I'm from Wyoming. My family's out there. She's lived here her whole life. Oh, so you came to Seattle and married her, and now you want to go, and she's not prepared to go. Yeah, I got out of the military up here, and we got together while I was in the military, and then I got out here. She was in the military as well, and I got out here, and then we got married and everything, and kind of settled down some roots. But it's nothing that we really talked about before we actually got married.
All right, well, that's what I think you have to do is let her know you're going. That's, and I love you, sweetheart, and it'd show great solidarity if you would go with me. And I promise, and this is, kind of a light thing, but if you come with me, I promise that we'll be the happiest couple in the world. And that's all I can really tell you, Jacob, is to show her that that's where the joy is for you, and that's where the joy for your family is the joy is in Wyoming, and I believe that she'll go with you. Thanks for the call, Jacob.
800-252-1025. That's the number for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. If you would like to email, you can email lifecoach@kzok.com. And remember, you can be anonymous if
that was
you need to.
That was a very moment of Solomon's wisdom right there for me.
How do you mean?
Well, guy calls up, he doesn't like Seattle, and doesn't like anything about Washington. For the most part, we go, so what? You suck. We hate you. But I answer all questions, and God loves the guy, and I hope he does fine in Wyoming.
He doesn't like the rain, but he likes 20 below.
He likes sucking in Wyoming. It's not my place to judge, man. I just help. You have every right to call.
Jack in Seattle sent an email. I am an adrenaline fanatic who grew up racing motocross and driving fast cars. That's the only thing that has helped keep my bigger issues at bay. I come from a long line of addicts on both sides of my family.
Jeez.
Sadly, a few years back, my brother was paralyzed racing dirt bikes. I had a serious accident soon after. I tried to quit riding, but found myself popping pills and drinking to excess. Now I have a young son, and am getting married. I'm trying to back away from extreme sports, but I start to feel the urge to drink and use drugs again. How do I fight my demons, but not necessarily keep riding motocross?
Well, I think you can ride motocross. I just don't think you should race. I rode motocross for years when I was a kid. The most I've ever been banged up is on a motorcycle. It's a dangerous pastime, my friend. As well as that I think what you got to do is I think you got to do some research on your addictions. You're talking booze and alcohol. A guy who's doing booze and alcohol should so not be on the back of a motorcycle. I think you need to get that in play right away. And as soon as you know, like, oh, man, and I'd love it if you'd call me or give me an email when this happens. When you go and you're starting to go to AA or whatever it is that you're going to, and you get that 30-day chip, and then somebody gives it to you, and then a 60-day chip. You're going to know you're on your way. And I'd love to hear your email from me again, and see if you don't feel better as you get a little time sober, because that's the answer. If you do it like a way that everybody can appreciate, that I've been sober for this amount of time, and hey, you know what? I don't need that, because I don't think you want to rule out motocross. I don't see any reason.
How does he not have a replacement? So if he ebbs away from the adrenaline stuff, like motocross, how does he then not replace it with drugs and alcohol? Like some people who are trying to quit smoking gain weight.
I think
how does he not replace it?
I think the answer is, and you'll find a lot of people, get yourself into AA, a lot of people, the biggest complaint about people at AA is people are addicted to AA. They start speaking in AA bumper stickers. I think that's it. You get into some kind of vibe, some kind of program, and get your drinking and alcohol under control, and then you stay in the, you let your adrenaline rush. That's fun. I've done everything you claimed except base jumping. Not doing that. Not ever. But that's the thing. Get your drinking and alcohol out of control outside of the extreme sports, and continue to do the extreme sports. Just don't get hurt. I know you can't pick and choose when you get hurt, but see if you can get hurt. But I think you should continue your sports. I think it's real fun for you, but you got to quit the drugs and alcohol. That's all the time we have right now for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, my friends. Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.